This video is about exercising on keto. I want to communicate a few points pretty quickly and as efficiently as I can. First and foremost, you should do exercise on keto. Not just because it might help you get into keto, stay in a deeper state of ketosis, and also just generally help manage diet and other feelings of fatigue. But in general, exercise is good, and you certainly shouldn't let keto stop you from doing the exercise you previously did. Bearing that in mind, I'm going to talk about cardiovascular exercise and strength and weight training. Things like building strength in power lifts, as well as hypertrophy or muscle building. So to begin with endurance or cardiovascular exercise, a lot of individuals will find that their endurance might increase once they're adapted in keto. And generally speaking, this isn't an issue. You should be doing your cardiovascular exercise like you previously had on keto, and after a bit of time, you will adapt to more efficiently using fat, and it probably won't be much of an issue. If you do find yourself feeling tired or sore, and particularly your legs, a larger muscle group that now is depleted of glycogen, if you find those feeling a little jelly-like, that's all right. Keep pushing through it. You will adapt to using fat more efficiently. And if you are someone who's done a lot of cardiovascular exercise, a lot of endurance work, you might also already have an advantage in fat burning for exercise. As if you've ever run or done exercise for a very long period of time, you will have been burning fat near the later portions of that exercise. So when it comes to endurance, keep at it. There's probably not going to be much of a change, and you might even find that your performance increases, although that's up to the individual. But more notably, for those that are doing strength training or hypertrophy training, that is to build muscle, and are lifting weights in the gym, they are doing shorter bouts of more intense exercise, often lifting heavy loads and putting themselves under a lot of stress. You will find that in the early stages of the ketogenic diet, your performance will decrease. Your muscles will feel weaker, you will feel weaker. Your legs will feel like jelly. You might even find that you get injured easier or accumulate pain, stiffness, or issues in your joints easier in the early stages of the diet. But I want to note that it is in the early stages of the diet. If it is the case that your legs feel jelly-like and you're not doing the same amount of weight for your squats, your leg press, etc., that will pass. I want to communicate one thing fundamentally here. Once you're well adapted to keto, and you've been doing it for a while, your strength output, your performance in the gym should be the same as when you are off the diet, but still in a deficit. Because mind you, no matter what, in a deficit, your performance is likely to be a little bit lower, particularly when it comes to the volume that you are capable of. But on keto, you will get to the same volume numbers, to the same lifts that you previously had. It just takes a bit of time. So, with that being said, here's how to expedite your adaptation to keto and get back to lifting the weights that you previously had been, and for the volumes that you previously had been. A quick note on volumes. If you don't already supplement with creatine, it might be a valuable inclusion at this point, as that can help you get a little bit more out of your workouts, get a few more reps out, and that could get you closer to what you previously were doing earlier on whilst you're still adapting. But on that topic of adapting, if you only work out in the gym, I would recommend incorporating some amount of endurance training during this adaptation phase. And it's going to last a few weeks, maybe even a month of time that it'll take to adapt. And for some, the adaptation might take longer than that, but it is a worthwhile goal, especially if you find it useful, the ketogenic diet that is, useful for losing weight. It is something that is worth adapting to. So incorporate endurance exercise in this early portion of your ketogenic diet to help you adapt quicker. Why will it help you adapt quicker? Well, when you're depleting all of your glycogen, as you normally would in your day-to-day life, your body has to switch to burning fat. If you provide a stimulus to your body that it needs to switch to burning fat for a longer period of time, it will get better and better at doing that. A regular exercise session in the gym is only so long. There's only so much of a window for your body to get used to relying on fat for fuel in your muscles. Your brain, another portion of the adaptation to keto, will need to adapt throughout the day. It'll constantly be adapting. That will happen by itself. So you need to give your muscles the reason to use fat. When you're done with your session, maybe hop on the treadmill, 10, 20 minutes. Maybe up that. As a side note, this is a good practice. Regardless of keto adaptation, regardless of dieting, it is good to do some amount of cardio. This is an extra incentive to do that. Get on the treadmill, get your legs working, get them used to burning fat more readily. If you find yourself struggling to adapt in your upper body, which is harder to do cardio for. I mean, you can't go walking around on your hands endlessly. But if you find yourself feeling constantly sluggish in your chest, your bench press has never gotten up to what it previously was, maybe your bicep curls, whatever it is not at the same numbers and it's taking a long time to get there, you may want to consider incorporating essentially large amounts of warm-up sets that fully deplete your muscles of glycogen to get them better used to burning fat. So what that might look like is if you previously had a weight of 20 kilograms for your dumbbell curls, drop it down to an insubstantial weight that isn't actually causing any muscular adaptation or strength adaptation, something like 10 kgs, and do a whole bunch of reps. This isn't to build muscle, this is not to build strength, this is to deplete glycogen. As a quick note, this is also a good tip if you're trying to get into keto fast. You might want to also do a depletion workout. Lots of lightweight exercises. You don't need to do this every session. Goodness gracious, that would be a horrible idea if you're actually trying to make gains in the gym. But maybe dedicate one session to doing a decent amount of depletion work to get your body used to this. Once your muscles are used to the ketogenic diet and using fat as its primary fuel, and your strength output and your general performance in the gym has gotten at least close to what it was previously, you can stop doing this if you wish and move on as normal. But I do recommend, in general, that everyone incorporate cardio no matter what. But the depletion workouts can definitely be dropped at the wayside. So, if you want to get your performance back in the gym because you found that it suffered, get used to burning fat, deplete your glycogen, do cardio, do a depletion workout, and adapt as quick as possible. And then you'll be good to go. But yes, a fundamental note, on keto, your performance will recover to what it was previously, so long as you actually work hard in the gym and get used to burning fat. Here on this channel, I cover topics and interesting bits of information about the ketogenic diet, guides and information that helps me and others in my life do the diet. If you are interested in the diet as well, stick around. There's plenty to learn, lots to see. And if you have any considerations, questions, or further information, please leave it down below. We'll read it.